All right, peace to the family. This is Brandon B. Dixon. You joined into the Power of Ownership podcast. Let's go ahead and start getting it popping. I got my co-host Brandon Dunbar. So Dunbar and Dixon. That's how we. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
that's how we rocking.
Why not?
So let's go get started, man. Without further ado. All right, so my name is Brandon B. Dixon. MLS 1541210 is at Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. Go to my YouTube at Billionaire Loan Officer. Like, subscribe. Don't forget, comment. We read the comments on there. If you got any questions, we'll read it and answer it right here live on air. www.applywithb.com if you want to book me for a consultation or you want to start a mortgage application. 832-775-8357. You can call me 24/7 as long as it's about business. www.brandonbdixon.com if you want to lease, list, you want to talk about real estate. That's my real estate handle. And last but not least, cocinvestmentclub.com if you want to go ahead and mitigate your risk and start to get into real estate investing. I'm going to have to get to, I know I got one of your banners here, Dunbar. What's the other one you wanted me to create? I got Google Brandon Dunbar Realtor.com. What else you wanted me to put on there? You muted yourself.
Yeah, you're right. Yep, the DunbarDidIt.com. That's my website.
All right, so I got DunbarDidIt.com. Go ahead and add that banner.
All right. Okay.
Like that?
Yep, perfect. And I guess, I think that'd be fine.
And then you can Google you Brandon Dunbar Realtor.
Yeah, well. You can get my number from there. So Google Brandon Dunbar Realtor for any real estate questions, or if you are in the market or thinking about being in the market, definitely will be able to guide you to where you want to go or give you some expertise. And then Dunbar Did It is my website. Check me out. You'll be able to see what's it's interactive, so you can put in homes that you might want, put in zip codes. Just check me out. It's one of those things to where if you're serious, I'm serious, and we can get you to the next level if you in real estate if you want to be there. Also, Villa Kitchens. I should have put that one, but you can Google Villa Kitchen HTX or and then that's my catering company. If you ever need any food anywhere from San Jose to Texas to Amsterdam, we are pretty much a global company or working towards that. So check me out.
How y'all shipping to Amsterdam and all that stuff? How y'all,
So what we do is we don't ship to Amsterdam. We source chefs in Amsterdam.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
And then y'all, how do y'all quality control? I didn't know that chef is busting. Y'all just have,
Yeah, so we have a guy for that. We have a guy that he's gonna vet the potential Amsterdamian chefs and see if he fits our mold or not.
Got you. All right, so this is a good segue, man. I want to start off. I'm not going to start off on real estate. I do have a couple of real estate clips, but I really want to talk about. I'm going to reveal what we're talking about in mid show. So I'm waiting. We waiting on possibly Barry B to jump on and Corey Smith, so they might jump on. A little bit, running CPT a couple of minutes behind. But I want to go ahead and react to these clips right here. Speaking of restaurants and food service business, check this out. So I'm gonna get your honest reaction. Let's chop it up about this particular subject that we all go through.
Oh my God, we've been sitting for an hour. Where's the waiter? Excuse me, you know I'm not your waiter. I know that, but Hey, can I start y'all off with some drinks? Hi, yes, I would like a pineapple mimosa. We're also ready to order our food. Okay. It's been like 45 minutes and we still haven't gotten our drinks yet. Like, what's going on?
Where'd you go?
Where?
Over there.
You walking this over here, my damn drink. Excuse me. Yeah, we still haven't gotten our drinks yet. We don't have any orange juice or pineapple juice or champagne for the mimosas. Okay, well, we'll just order our food for now. Can I get the peach? The what? The peach Hennessy French toast with the syrup on the side. And we don't do modifications on menu items. Okay, well, just give me the peach Hennessy French toast. Well, we're out of bread for the table while she's deciding. We don't have any chicken, shrimp, salmon, grits, eggs, Hennessy waffles, Hennessy lamb chop, Hennessy peach pancakes, pork. Okay, so what do y'all have then? Water. All right, well, I'll check. All right, that'll be $10 a cup. Toilet water? It's filtered. All right, well, just give me the Hennessy spinach. Actually, you fit your 2-hour max, so you're gonna have to leave. I'm gonna get the check. We didn't even order nothing yet.
I know that was a skit, but it was a depiction of something that we all been through before. You know what I'm saying? What's your and I got a follow-up clip to this as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get your first reaction to this, and then we're gonna talk about this other piece right here. It's two sides of the same coin, kind of the same thing.
I mean, I guess it falls down to, so everything trickles down, right? So if you have a good CEO, general manager, you won't have to go through that type of deal. If you don't have good people up top, you can't expect to have good people at trickling down. I mean, that's the only thing I can say. I mean, if you want to, I guess, be studious, whoever she's talking about, if you do have that type of service, I would see who was the CEO of that company, and if that maybe it's their first time at it, maybe you can reach out to them and let them know what's going on. But it all trickles down. If you have good people up top, it should trickle down to good people at trickling down into even the waiter or the valet person in these situations.
Well, let me ask you this. I got to play devil's advocate. Papados is one of the hallmarks of Houston. We went to Papados a couple of weeks ago, you and I and Junit, and our waitress not as extravagant as that, but we still had pretty bad service when we had to wait quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't. So it's I guess it's this is what I would say. Maybe I give people the benefit of the doubt, right? Maybe they were understaffed. Maybe it was something to that effect, to where, usually you handle 3 tables in a section or a region, and maybe she had to handle 6. And then, to be honest, we didn't know what we wanted. So, and we were having a meeting, so maybe she just was trying to be hands off. But usually, if everything is running as planned, it should be okay. And if it doesn't run as planned, we should give it a second chance. And if it doesn't run as planned, then maybe we should try to look upwards and see if it's something that we can help them out with.
Right. I don't know, man. You sound like them comments, man. Them comments kind of making a lot of excuses. Let me play this next clip. Okay. Maybe this will bring. Well, let's see what if the excuse is still there. Let's see. Let's see this. Okay. Because this, maybe I think maybe that's the issue. Nobody calls it out. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and run it. Let's go ahead and run this next one.
All right. Attitude this cashier gave this woman because she wanted her items double bagged.
You shouldn't choose a job you don't want to do, honey. Because I can, and I'm grown, and I continue to talk. You shouldn't choose a job that you don't want to do. Because I want to, and I'm going to, while you're ringing up my thing. I'm going to talk to you, and I'm going to address you because I asked you, you are supposed to make sure that the customer service is no matter where you work. I'm not arguing with you. I'm going to talk to you, young lady, because I'm going to ask you to bag my thing the proper way, and you're going to do that. You shouldn't have chose a job you didn't have to do. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're an employee, so you should act like that. You should act like that all the time. That's the problem with y'all people. That's why y'all not going to prosper. That's why you see your work like this, because your attitude is messed up.
So I went to the comment section of this video, and what I noticed is there were people in there that were on the side of the cashier. They were saying things like, well, good customer service requires good customers. That's not how that works. Okay. You people that are saying that in the comment section, you're part of the problem. All right. Raise your children properly so that they know how to respect their elders and respect authority. Quit raising little ghetto hooligans that don't know how to talk to nobody. This is part of the problem with our society today. Quit making excuses for these disrespectful children. Check out the attitude this cashier gave this woman because she wanted.
Well, I'll chime in. We didn't get an attitude. We
Right,
didn't
right,
get
right. I'm not saying I'm overarching the whole thing.
right.
So
Right.
the first one was no focus, unprofessionalism, not no head in the game, no strategy. The second one was straight out this disrespect to the customer, like over the top. You got headphones on. I understand this this baggage. I don't know what they call them, that assist the cashier, a bagger. But however, for my generation, how you do one thing is how you do everything. A lot of times that was a starter job. I remember my cousin. Shout out to my cousin Darian. I remember he started off as a bagger at Ragusa. Now he's a millionaire. But when he came in, he took the job serious. Like went from that to the military, so on and so forth. But that's our generation. Like just getting something where it was a high school job, but that helped them, like, I guess be meticulous how he turned out to be. Like these new kids, they don't take it serious. They don't understand it. I know the customer's not always right. However, you can't go back and forth with the customers. They have a lot of common ground. You can't go back. You got to let the customer make it, even though as long as they don't put their hands on you or anything like that, you got to let them make it.
Right.
So you got.
I think what I would say, kind of what I alluded to earlier, it falls on the general manager, right? Because if you're not hiring good folks to cater to your company, then you already lost. But I mean, yeah, it is a different generation. Respect is something that, even in my generation, I know you're way older than me, but even in my generation, respect.
Way.
But no, I mean, respect is something that is taught at home when when you're a young person. So, but so you can't really, it is what it is. You can't on the back end learn how to respect anybody and be a decent human being if your parents hasn't instilled that in you or your grandparents hasn't instilled that in you when you were coming up. But yeah, I mean, like I say, when it comes down to bad service at restaurant, it's all about who's hiring these folks. These folks are probably who they were before they got hired, and they're gonna be who they are, even when they get fired. So it's one of those things to where in the company, everybody has a role. And if you are responsible in hiring folks, and the folks that you're hiring are not doing what they need to do, then you need to get fired yourself.
Gotcha. My boy TJ, man, what's going on? He said, "What's good, B? What's going on, man? Long time no hear from, man." Yeah, let's go to the next one. Let's turn it a bit.
You didn't say nothing,
huh?
I said, what's your outlook on that?
No, I was pointing to the actual. I was leading the conversation. I think it's more than just a generation. I think it's a cultural thing as well. I think, and you know this, and we've talked about this. I know that in our culture, customer service is a lost art. Or has it ever become a thing?
Well, I mean, customer service
I've never seen where an establishment was in our community where I had off the chart customer service. I really have to think, and where I like, damn, like that wowed me. If I just get decent customer service, I consider that a victory. So I've never seen off the charts. I just haven't seen it. And I'm almost a 50 piece. 50 you see ball. What I'm saying? Huh?
50 ball.
Yeah, I'm almost a 50 ball. So I just hadn't seen it. Why has it never become a thing? We like the dominating everything else, sports and comedy. why we can't be off the charts as far as customer service. And then not only that, but conflict resolution. I've seen people that was nice, but soon as you got a problem, here come the attitude.
Mm-hmm.
So why is that? Why can't it be or either passive aggressive? So why can't it be, hey, the customer's right, let them make it. That way you got the good juju on you, whatever that, and just go ahead and let them make it. Why I gotta be back and forth?
Right. And just to be 100% honest, I've been to a couple of Black establishments where I know the CEO was Black, I know the founders were Black, and I didn't get bad customer service. Now, I've been to, like I said, Papa Do's. That's not ran. I mean, that's not
right.
started by anybody that looks like us. But like I said, it comes down to who's hiring these folks. Another thing I would say is quick attitudes are part of the Black community, I feel, but that's only because the disrespect that they are feeling hits home to them, and like I said, it's household, right? So if they were flipping off at their grandma, then of course, who are you, some random woman or man? Of course they're gonna flip out at you. So, but that comes from like the household. That comes from your upbringing. I don't think that's taught by our culture, but that is something that that I can kind of put two and two together, and I know when people have been raised right or not. Because I'm sure D, B, you had somebody in your life say, man, your parents raised you right. I'm sure you heard that before.
Right. Well, say it one more time. You broke up the last part.
Oh no, I said in your lifetime, I'm sure somebody has told you that. Hey, you know what? Your parents raised you right.
Well, I get like I get like people don't believe where I'm from. I'm from where I'm from. People think I'm from like a whole different place or like an alien or something like that.
Pennsylvania or something.
Nah, because it's just not the norm. I want to twist it a little bit. Do you think it's part of? Do you think it's part of like I know I hear you as far as the raising, but is it baked into the culture?
I don't think so.
What do you think it is?
I mean, I say I would stand on this. It's all about your upbringing. If your dad and your mom and your grandma wasn't going for any disrespect, then that's going to translate. But not only in the household as an extension of them, that's how you're going to continue your life. In my brain, because you don't. I mean, where would you learn that from? Even if you learn it off the streets and your environment is, rough, you're not gonna go home and do the same thing. That you're not gonna bring it home. And if you're not gonna bring it home, you shouldn't bring it outside.
Well, that's the thing is that if they got too many bad apples falling from the tree, something's wrong with the tree. The tree is affected. Where's the stellar example of otherwise? I know there's some anomalies, but why is it not the norm?
Well, I mean, we can go back to the crack epidemic. That's
right.
that.
You think it's chemical?
No, I'm just saying from just households not being in alignment. Households not being in alignment, not having feminine presence, not having masculine presence, not having an equal, not being raised right. I think that's what it is.
Right.
That's what I think.
I got two more to this topic. I want this conversation to evolve because I think this is my premise.
Huh?
And it all relates. I think we have a certain thing that's kind of baked in these rules that don't apply anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of baked into the culture. And these particular rules, nobody else.
Can you give me an example?
I'm gonna lay it out with this video. This is one that you probably hadn't even noticed.
Okay.
You know, but it's in there, and you know, until you like look outside in and like, all right, well, does that mean anything?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm waiting.
So let's go around. I'm gonna involve this. I'm letting this evolve with videos. Again, I don't want to just lay it all out there because it'd be 5 minutes then. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
How you doing, Corey?
What's going on, fellas?
Man,
What's going on? What's going on?
Hey, baby.
So
Good.
shit, I mean, you didn't miss too much. You missed 2 clips, but I'm involving this one point because I ain't got a lot of clips today because we're not gonna be on there too long because I got to get up early. But I'm involving this particular point. So you missed the first couple, but let's I got 2 more on the same point. So
I catch on.
yeah, you'll catch on what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and run this next one.
Step to your face and tell you your dead homie in your face, you gonna tell me all those are nothing but words.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you.
Hell no, those are fighting words.
I'm gonna
Those
tell
are
you,
words.
I'm gonna tell you a goddamn lie. What I'm gonna fight you for, and I got to go home to my kids. I'm gonna fight you for, nigga. I make damn near $10,000 a week, and that can stop. What I'm gonna fight you? My homies is dead. Your words don't hurt me. Fuck your mama, nigga. Fuck. You don't know now, nigga. Matter of fact, I ain't even got no dead homies, nigga. I'm 45 years old. I ain't got no dead homies. How that's gonna hurt me? I'm a grown goddamn man. Don't no words affect me, boy. Words affect your mama, son. Words don't affect no man. Words affect boys and women, nigga. I'm a goddamn man. When did niggas start listening to words?
This is what it looks like when a man who got game talks to a young guy. An elevated man operating at the highest levels of manhood talks to a male. And that's not to say anything bad about the young boy who's talking to Charleston White. He could be on the path, right? He's sitting there listening, not interrupting. So he's absorbing all of this game and he's on his path towards manhood. But this is what that looks like. I don't even know what to add to this because Charleston White already said it all. Enough said. Your words got nothing to do with my mental state. They don't make or break me and you don't fucking define me. So what the fuck do I look like out here risking it all just to get your respect? Stand on manhood. Done.
So it's the evolvement. This is the thing in our community. You know, you say something, I'm ready to risk it all, I'm ready to jump out. No else that you know, very, very few cultures that exist. You know, I was always thought, you know, sticks and stones, and but I feel like I'm an anomaly. You know, not too many people. I've seen people killed, like literally, for less. You know, so for what? Why? You know, so I think the correlated to the previous videos, I think the emotions and the pride we wear on our sleeve. And then when it comes to business, you got to be neutral. I don't think we understand or aware that, you know, there isn't too many. Besides for your company vision and the drive to outdo yourself, there's really no place for emotion. You should transmute that into wanting to serve the customer. I think it's out of control egos. I think it's emotionalism, and I think it's lack of awareness. You know, so that's kind of my thing on it. But I'll let y'all go ahead and run it. I'll yield the floor on that.
Mr. Corey, you go ahead and dig in, man, if you don't mind.
All right, I got you. You know what I'm saying? A lot to unpack from that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily agree. You know what I'm saying? Shaka with what B Dix is saying. It's a human nature to have emotions. You know what I'm saying? But to say, you know what I'm saying, you're not a man unless you don't have emotions, unless you stay neutral, you know what I'm saying? Like that part I don't necessarily agree with because there's a lot of things, you know what I'm saying, that men have done. There's a lot of things that so-called gangsters and these toughest of the tough men and all this other stuff have done just for the sole purpose of, you know what I'm saying, there was a words or you felt disrespect. I think all that emotional stuff goes out the window when in our culture we feel disrespected. So it's not just about the words, it's about the respect element that's there, and then the way everybody else is going to treat you when that person no longer has respect for you. Or they feel like, you know what I'm saying, that you didn't demand your respect. You know what I'm saying? Then everything kind of goes awry. It's still an emotional thing, but I think, you know what I'm saying, the bigger thing to talk about is emotional maturity. like understand, you know what I'm saying? It's completely human to have those emotions within yourself, to feel angry, mad, happy, sad, whatever the case may be. But you have to have the maturity to be like, okay, I'm not going to make a dumb decision just based upon a 2-minute feeling or whatever the case may be. Just because this guy said something to me, you know what I'm saying, I'm not going to pull out a gun, shoot him, you know what I'm saying, and then be done with spend the rest of my life in jail. Like I have to, within myself, be able to channel those emotions and be able to make a smart decision, because at the end of the day, we all trying to make it home to our families, right? Not jail or not a body bag. So that's kind of my take on it, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I see where Dunbar stands on that.
No, I mean, you're right. Emotions are a part of being a human being, right? But when what you said is pretty much what I would say. It's you can't let anything get the best of you, right? So if you letting your emotions get the best of you, you letting your you can't let anything get the best of you, right? You have to be within yourself at all times, and that's the that comes with maturity, like you said, Corey. Emotions are a part of being a human being, but you got to realize where you at, and you got to realize where you want to go, and all that it will come into place when you answering somebody who is being belligerent, or is being somebody that is not really kind to you. That's I think my grandma said you get more with sugar than you get with salt, right? So just because somebody is killing with kindness, same principle. You reciprocate kindness back to these folks. If they don't like it, then you go about your business. You try to do the best thing you can do, but yeah, you don't throw anything away that you got going on because somebody else has an attitude with you.
Correct.
And there you have it, folks. They still don't get it. So, there you have it, folks. But you're not really that much really disagree. You kind of agree with me at the end. But just to kind of tweak what the guy was saying, I don't know the guy that talked after Charles, so I never heard him. What he's saying as far as masculine energy, that logic and that structure has that's part of manhood. That's part of your holding frame. As a man. Hold on. I didn't interrupt y'all. Hold on.
I got one more thing.
Right. Go ahead.
Can I go ahead? All right. Yeah. So once you get now everybody is not going to be able to kind of entertain or be able to enact what we're talking about as a human, right? We're talking about humans and emotions. Your forward thinking is something that you don't get. You develop at an age that's not 18, that's not 25. So it depends on your age too. You can't expect a 13-year-old to act like a 23-year-old, to act like a 33-year-old, right? So you get that forward thinking, especially I think as a man, you get that when you become an actual man. You don't get it when you're 18. You don't get it when you're 25. You get it when you're a little bit later on in life. So, I mean, that's another kind of psychological thing that I'm gonna throw.
Again, this is to modify, and then I get back to my original point. I don't. It just depends whose society defines like certain things. In my opinion, and what I've experienced, I think our culture is a tick behind. I think in the framework that you just said, I think how we act, like a 23-year-old. I've been around some other cultures that have 13 to 15-year-old act like 25 and 30-year-old. They're a little bit, they're tick more mature. When you talk to them, the conversation's more higher IQ. I think a lot of time, not all. Again, we're talking about 51%. When 51%, we're talking in general. This is what I experienced in my 50 piece, or close to my 50 piece. Is that when talking to us, I think we have a form of arrested development where our priorities are different. The things that we glorify, I think our maturity levels lagging a tick behind, and I think our IQ is lagging a tick behind in comparison. Just what I experienced. Again, this is my opinion. So sometimes, and I think especially in this economy, that might be a problem. You know. So now to get back to my original point, as far as speaking about the speaker that came out to Charleston White, the Caucasian guy, I assume he's Caucasian. He looks Caucasian. He was talking about masculine abuse as far as holding frame, and not being led by your emotions or not reacting emotionally. Don't forget, life's not about what happens to you. It's about how you react to it. You know, so, and we have to make a difference on how we react. When you react emotionally, this is what I was taught. When you react emotionally, most times you lose every time. When I lose my cool, a lot of times it goes bad. I hadn't seen this in my experience. When I lose my cool, it actually wound up pretty good. Mine actually makes it worse for the most part. I can't think of a time like, yeah, I lost my shit, and it wound up for the good. Nah, it compounds it. So when I talk things through, when hey, all right, let's come to a common ground. It winds up being constructive instead of destructive. Go ahead.
So, Dixon, just humor me. When was the last time you lost your cool? What age were you?
Lost my cool, shit. Goddamn.
I know you're a 50 ball in, so probably about 30 years ago. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I don't know about 30. I mean, lose your cool where I lost it or where I had to check somebody. I had to check people a lot of times. Don't forget,
Well,
so that's the difference.
I mean, listen. I'm not talking about from a business standpoint. Of course, we can check somebody because they don't.
Yeah, it's been close to 30 pieces, 25, about 30, 45, 30 pieces.
Right. So you were able to learn from that because you an intellectual person, and
right.
you were able to learn from that, and you're able to grow from that, and you wouldn't do that same thing, at this age.
Well, actually, my recollection is I'm actually ashamed of that. I should, the way I was acting in my 20s, that should have been teenage years. I think I was a tick behind.
Well, you were only a tick behind because everybody develops everybody develops at different paces. It's not you weren't behind. You were just.
I was behind. That's my opinion. I think if I would have, and I'm one of those anomalies. Again, I'm not like everybody that came from my neighborhood.
Right.
Now that I relive my years, now that I reflect, and I'm looking at now that I'm around multicultural, yeah, what I was doing in my 20s, like that's like normal for an 18-year-old coming up from a different community. Them little hat boys.
Right. And so this is, and I know we're belaboring this, but so other cultures, you remember you said that you met a 13-year-old that act like he was 50, but when
in 20s for real,
20s,
right?
But that
not
is,
really 13-year-olds, but
So I mean, and I'm just gonna say this: when they are they're around like people. So if it was an Indian person, if he's around other Indians that's 15, he's probably gonna react different than talking to you. That's a black man that's a little bit older than him. Because we don't see other cultures in their
element.
Their element. They're comfortable situations to where they can get a little bit more loose than they would when they're outside of that sphere.
Right, but don't forget, I've in business, I know the business is a different situation. Business and outside extracurricular. I just hadn't experienced it. I just hadn't seen it. I've seen them in a natural element. And again, we'll belabor the point. I just said, let's run this next clip. Let's run this next clip.
Okay. All right.
I've seen something like this that's about to play in different communities, and it don't happen like this.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and run this clip. And I'm making a point here.
Okay. All right.
You keep
This
making
crazy. This is
everything.
probably one of the greatest analogies I've seen on, like, I guess, a social experiment on how people be mad at you and your successes, bro. Look how hard he threw the ball in, man. All he doing is the right thing. The other nigga sat down and said, man, fuck this. I don't even want to play. He threw the ball off far. That's niggas throwing you off your D. Trying to throw you off your spot. Look, he go right back to his spot. Ooh, watch this. Throw him off his spot. This is what niggas do, bro. 101. I know it look like basketball to y'all, but this life, watch this splash. Now look, let's just throw an awkward pass at him. Let's just make life difficult for him, right? Watch this, same spot. Go. But the lesson is you gotta go back to your same spot. Bust. Trap. Look at these niggas, they can't get a shot. Look, they throw the ball to him disrespectfully. Wow, look at this. Spot. Watch how hard this other nigga watch. He gonna throw them ball. The nigga with the dreads, watch how hard he threw the ball at this nigga. That's the hater of the crew. Him and niggas with blue shorts, they hate you. That one nigga just out there making it. Watch this. Sick of this shit. That's how niggas treat you, bro. Just keep swapping from your spot, bro.
People act when you keep making
crazy.
everything.
This is probably one of the greatest analogies I've seen.
Now this was the analogy. I want to make this proclaim. So let's not get into the fundamentals of basketball. So I know where you're gonna try to go with it. But go ahead. So it's an analogy. So
I go yeah, no, all right. I mean, that's at the end of the day,
it's a stretch is what it is.
That's what makes you that's what separate great from good to bad, right? If you're able to see through what people are trying to, the hurdles that people have. I think we talked about it with the business a couple weeks ago. But if you're able to, because that's what people do. I mean, people are going to try to throw you off. I mean, whether you're good or bad, people are going to try to throw you off. And it's up to you within your mental state to be able to understand what they're doing and not react and just be great if you are feeling like you are great. I mean, that's what people do. Whether it's not even in the black community, in any community, especially against the black community, people are going to try to throw you off. It's up to you to know what to do when they do that, and to have the prowess or the experience or the education or to know that that's what they're doing, and to not fit into that, and to just do what you know and do what's best for you and your family.
You going next, BD?
Nah, we're gonna wrap it up after y'all finish.
Oh, okay, all right. So look, so the thing I would say is, stay focused. Got to stay focused. You know what I'm saying? Which is kind of along the same lines, kind of piggybacking on what Dunbar said. Here's the thing, is that it's life. Life, something always going to pop up, try to throw you off course, whatever the case may be. We just talked about in the previous video, we talked about emotional maturity. Now you see, how they was throwing the ball hard at him. They threw the ball to the right, they threw it deep to the right. He had to go chase it and all this other stuff. And he didn't get into an argument. He ain't start yelling. He ain't start going off. He didn't let them get into his head. He was able to stay focused, get the ball back, calmly walk to his spot, and knock another one down. So, if we're using this as an analogy, I think it's a great analogy, because it shows you how you can, one, emotionally be mature, not get upset when unexpected things happen. And then two, stay focused enough, to accomplish your goals. Every time you watch an NBA game, they're talking about certain NBA players getting to their spot. That's the spot that they're comfortable with. That's the spot that they know they can shoot a high percentage from, and they're not going to let anybody stop them from getting to that spot. It's kind of how you got to be in life. Understand where your spot is, where the position is to give you a higher percentage of winning. And regardless of what life throws at you, get your ball and get to your spot. Knock down the shot.
Now, let me make this disclaimer, and then we're going to read TJ's comment after this and react to that. I'm not saying, don't forget it's an analogy. I'm not saying other communities talking about basketball. I'm talking about the analogy. Wow. So I just hadn't seen, again, I'm not invited to all picnics, but I am invited to some of the picnics that I don't see that level of background noise and trying to deliberately throw you off your spot. I see more supportive. I see, let me set you up in your right spot. Let me help you get to that right spot. Let me bring, let me bring the ball to you. Let me put it in your hands. I see that a lot. But I think, and to sum it all up, yes, you got the gist of what I was saying as far as the holding frame, you back out the noise, especially when it comes to business. You got to keep draining them buckets. That's how you're supposed to do it. But why is the noise there? Would he be even more cold? Would he be even more cold if he had some assistance? Analogy wise, how much further would he be? He'll be there all night. But we have to overcome things. We got to be that much colder because there's so much noise in the background. There's so much haterism. There's so much people that's trying to throw you off. Why is that? There's so much gatekeeping. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I got on, but I don't want you to get on because we in some kind of silent competition. You see what I'm saying? So I don't see that everywhere. I get, it took me a while to get a lot of love, but I get a lot of love, over and on, and I'm not even from that community. You see what I'm saying? But it's almost like, and when I come home, it's the opposite. Like you gatekeeping, trying to throw me off, you trying to hate, you trying to slick. Why? Why? I don't get it.
I think it's different strokes, different folks. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just your selective experiences, B. That's what I think it is. You know what I'm saying? Because to say that you don't get that in this culture. So look, to say that, you know what I'm saying, nobody else experiences that, right? So when you talk about different cultures, let's talk about maybe Indian or African culture, whatever case may be, whatever we want to talk about. When you talk about those cultures, the parents have already embedded to them that they needed to be doctors or lawyers or some kind of high-paid, high-priced profession, right? What if they choose not to go that path? What if they choose to say, hey, look, I want to be a gamer. I want to create this app that's going to make me millions of dollars. And they talk about how their parents was not on board. Do you think that's supportive? Like, you know what I'm saying, to actually go to your parents and tell them, hey, look, this is my passion. This is what I want to be. This is what I want to do. And their parents is doing everything to go against them. You don't think, you know what I'm saying, they got some hurdles to jump over? Like every time, you know what I'm saying, they're being supportive. If they come to their parents and say, hey, look, you know what I'm saying, I want to create this app. You think every time that they're getting that same support? So I think, you know what I'm saying, when you talk about that, it's a give and take. I think there's been plenty of times where you've been supported by your culture, but you just choose not to say that. You choose not to bring those experiences to the forefront because you're trying to prove a point. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, it can be slanted if you want to, but you know what I'm saying, I think every culture, regardless of what culture you're talking about, has hurdles to come over. And everybody is not always going to be supportive.
So again, let's go ahead and take what he's done. You take generalities and trying to take anomalies to try to disprove the generalities. That this anomalies don't disprove or slender, or one specific instance doesn't disprove the majority. Doesn't disprove it. So if there wasn't a thing, then this video wouldn't exist. You know, these videos that I play wouldn't exist if it was just me. If it was just me, I didn't make the video. The video's out there.
That's correct. There's 100 other videos that you could have picked to prove opposite, right? But this is the video that you picked because you have an agenda. You might as well be a politician, B. Because you got an agenda and you go nail it in somebody's head.
Right. Not about my agenda. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring awareness to a situation and probably come up with some solutions, if that's all right with you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what the problem is and what kind of solutions you bring it to the forefront. Can
we get to
that?
The problem if you want to break it down as well, Dunbar, the problem as far as the first 4 videos that I played is about lack of awareness and emotional maturity when it comes to business in our particular community. And it's a thing that I've experienced and a lot of other people have experienced, lack of great customer service, too much emotionalism. When you do have an issue, they try to go back and forth with you. which has no place in business, especially when you're a customer, you spending your money. Secondly, is when it comes to support, there's a lot of people that try to throw you off game and stuff like that, and try to gatekeep when it comes to support. And this is the ongoing thing, you know. So what I'm trying to bring as far as solution is bring awareness of it. Like, all right, this is the thing. We kind of looking crazy out here. What can we do to better the situation for the next gen? So let me go ahead and run to this next. I got this in there. Let me throw this in there just to show lack of awareness.
Damn, Dunbar can't get his opinion in before we move on
I've
to the
already,
next video.
I've already spoke on this.
We've been talking about this for a minute. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, listen, it's one of those things to where, so unfortunately, it's like one of those kind of historic things that we're trying to get over now. The crab in the bucket mentality, right? That's why you don't think that, you know, that's why you don't feel like your community is there for you, and some of them aren't. But it's one of those things to where it's not going to happen overnight. It was a programming thing that happened along, you know, way before I was, maybe when y'all were born, but way before I was born. And it's one of those things to where it takes some time to wear off. But I think it will eventually wear off, and I think it will be, you know, back where we're supposed to be.
Well, not to cut you off, but it won't just wear off. Stuff don't just happen without by osmosis. Some things like this, bringing awareness, has to, you know, put that mirror in order for it to get better. You're just not gonna my broken arm, it's better.
No, it's gonna get.
You might need some ibuprofen, and you might need some. You know what I'm saying? So,
it's gonna get taught out. It's gonna get taught out. Hopefully, that's you know, I'm optimistic in this. Usually I'm pessimistic, but usually I'm, you know.
Yeah, I don't think a car is gonna naturally go the opposite way. It'll slow down eventually, but it ain't gonna turn unless somebody turn it.
Right, that's true.
You know, so.
I think, you know what I'm saying, people are turning the car. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's probably a little bit slower than you would want, but I think there's plenty of people out there that's actually taking strides to change that narrative.
I actually I've seen it through my 50 piece. I've seen it get kind of progressively worse. You know, I hadn't seen it turn. Now certain things have increased. Certain things that you know, as far as people having more opportunities, people having more money circulating. However, that what I'm talking about hadn't changed. The same as it was probably like in the 80s and 90s. Kind of the same thing been plaguing us now. You know,
80s, 90s? Like we made no progression up until now?
I hadn't seen it. I'm talking about from what I'm talking about, not in a whole. Let's be specific and precise.
Okay. Hey, so listen, this is all about this. This is why people get famous on podcasts. Corey, I don't have to believe shit you say. Dixon, I don't believe we are gonna come and we're gonna talk about it and we're gonna make it fun. So let's go to the next one if y'all don't mind.
For sure.
Right. Let me go ahead and run this. This is the actual fun one, but I wanted to show the lack of awareness. This is actually a funny clip. So, and then I'm gonna get my man TJ. I know TJ, you've been waiting for a second for us to read your question, but let's go ahead and run this.
I'm probably going to ruin this song for a lot of people right now. For some of you, not so much. But do you know what this song is actually from?
Come on, Kevin. Try to cut a watermelon. Yeah, you George Washington, Henry Clay, Abraham, Lincoln, Woodrow Wilson, Jackson. You them Thompson niggas quit throwing them bones and come down and get your ice cream. Ice cream? Yes, ice cream. Cut up that ice cream. Watermelon. Well, I went down to Cookville the other afternoon. Never saw a yellow girl, her name was Susie Lou. She was sitting on the rail with the heel of the man. She was a melon, the fish in the man. Says I'm a Susie dear, when you keep your heart to me. You keep a heart of boy, with the don't you see? From the watermelon, trickle down the street. Make you think 100 hours, and you like to take. Then the nickel of a watermelon, ha, ha. Nickel of a watermelon, ha, ha. Bring it up, to make you with the hammer on the floor. And it's nothing like the watermelon for the 100 gold. Nickel of a watermelon, ha, ha. Nickel of a watermelon, ha, ha. Bring it up, to make you with the hammer on the floor. And it's nothing like the watermelon for the 100 gold.
And you all dancing?
I can go first.
Go ahead for it. Go for it.
So funny enough, I knew the history of that song, and I was living in Pasadena, and this is back when I was young. It was my first house. Living in Pasadena, the ice cream man. I'm like, do you know the origin of that song? And I didn't get upset. I bought something from him for listening to me, for wasting his time. But that's America. I mean, so just, and I'm gonna put like this, like the N-word, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are begging to be able to say the N-word, because what have we made the N-word? We made it one of the coolest words. Man, I should have shared this video. We made it one of the coolest words that you can have on this earth.
Correct.
To me, it's a big FU. Right now, do they know the origin of it? Probably not. The dude that made it to hurt us, he would be rolling in his grave to see us having fun with it. Now, are they ignorant? Do they know where it came from? I have no clue, right? I can't speak on that. But that's America. I mean, everything was built to tarnish, what our existence. But it's one of those things where we turn lemons into lemonade, right? Now, am I saying they know the origin? I have no clue. But if the guy who made it, whoever his name is, would see this, he'll be upset because he made it to hurt us, right? But we turn lemons into lemonade. That's all I got to say.
I like to double down on what Dunbar saying. You know what I'm saying? Before B Diggs come on with his opposite with his opposite opinion. How long have we been doing this, right? You know what I'm saying? We take a negative and turn it into a positive. As Dunbar said, you know what I'm saying? We took the N-word and we turned that to a negative to a positive. When we couldn't eat regular food, you know what I'm saying, and we got the leftovers, we got the pieces of the animal that nobody want, where you got chitlins. We cooked the hell out of chitlins.
I ain't messing with no chitlins now.
But look, I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Look, we did chitlins, oxtails, pig feet, you know what I'm saying? That's where you get all the staples of soul food that, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the people used to use. We turned a negative into a positive. So to say, or, you know what I'm saying, to act like this is a bad thing that we turned a negative for this song, regardless of its origin or not, to a positive, I just don't see the issue. You know what I'm saying? Like we flipped it around. You know what I'm saying? It was against us. Now we brought it for us. I'm not one of the ones that see the issue. I actually like what was done.
And audience, you see it again. You prove.
God damn.
God damn.
Listen, let me hear what you.
God damn, man.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Here
man.
we go.
Is it a positive or is it a coping mechanism? Then positive to whom? I guess ignorance is bliss. You know? So are you monetizing off of it? Are you what are you made it cool? Who owns the IP of the word? Who's profiting off of the word? Yeah, you're using it. But are you making it? Did it make you any better, or did it make you on a worldwide spectrum a laughing stock? So if everybody's
more money.
can I finish my point before?
I'm just saying it make you more money. You know what I'm saying? It made him more money because if you play that song and you're catering to your audience, that's business 101, is it not?
I can't even get my point out.
You're right, B. Go ahead. I'm
See,
finna mute myself like Dunbar there. I'm finna mute myself. My bad. Hold on. I'm finna mute myself. You go ahead, player. Go ahead.
Golly.
I'm mute myself because I got background noise.
All right. Golly. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna get into specifics. I got one more clip. I know Dunbar got to get out of here, and then we got to answer TJ. But I want to wrap it up with you. With one of y'all ghetto prophets.
Hey, no. I want to. What you think?
Yeah, I was trying to get to it, but somebody just hopped in on me and tried to step on. But let me go ahead and finish what I said. Let me go ahead and finish what I'm saying, man. So, again, if everybody's laughing at you on the worldwide stage, is it positive? I get it that you could take a Pepsi bottle, cut it, and make it a bowl, because that's what you had to do. You made it. You coped with it. However, is that optimal? Is that optimal way of living on a worldwide stage, or is it? Yeah, that's what we had to do as far as chitlins and all the rest of that stuff that you named. However, is that an optimal diet? Now that you have better, and I've seen podcasts before where you always an advocate of, now that we have this thing that we in front of called a computer, the knowledge is out there. So now that we know that chitlins and hog maws and the rest of it is not really healthy for us, now we can go ahead and do better. So at the time we had to cope. So what's the excuse for not knowing these certain things and not being aware? I put the clip in there for awareness. And I think this to sum it all up, and I'm gonna let Umar some for the last clip, is that I think ignorance and poverty is a choice, especially in 2025 going to 2026. Just like Dunbar, you're educated, you're a scientist, so you know the knowledge is out there. You choose not to partake in it, or you know it and you don't care.
It's definitely a choice.
Right, it's definitely a choice. So just like Kanye says, slavery is a choice. You could choose to be a clown.
So can as Dunbar said, can you humor me? You know what I'm saying? So what is the value of them knowing what the origin of that song is?
So if I knew the origin of that song, just like, for example, let's take it out the song and put it like to a white robe and a white hood. Let's say that became fashionable. I'm gonna wear these new hoodies is all white with a pointy head on. I just like the way it looked. And like, bro, there's a history behind this. There's this group they called the KKK. They used to wear this, and they used to burn crosses. They used to lynch people. You don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But now, man, it look cool. Don't you look on the outside looking in? You look kind of stupid. That's my point. So yeah, I made it cool. I'm the first with a pointy head, white with the cross on the man. That's just a hot hoodie. I took lemons and made lemonade, but you're looking kind of stupid because it was meant to degrade your whole community, and you celebrating, you dancing to it, and you doing this to it. I'm gonna still eat it because this is tradition. I'm still tradition. We come on, bro. It's 2026.
Right. I totally get you. I'm not trying to be in opposition to anything. I'm just gonna say this. So,
man, be in opposition, Dunbar. Stand on it. You know what I'm saying? Look, be Dick's out there.
No, I mean, everybody got that. So listen, you live out there in the sticks, right? So the whole thing about that is inclusivity, right? So would it make the people that were KK members mad or happy that they can put on the same things that they used to degrade us with, and that they really die for?
It'll piss them off.
Mad. No,
piss them off.
Okay, so if they was to piss them off, did it piss Tommy Hilfiger off? Did it piss Troop off? Did it piss Balenciaga off when y'all wear their clothes? No, it put money in their pocket. And behind closed doors, they laughing at you.
Not really, because Tommy Hilfiger was a facade. You know what I'm saying? That was some kind of fake bogus stuff if you do your research. But at the end of the day, when you talk about here you go with analogy. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, when you talk about things that's negative that makes a positive, you know what I'm saying? Because he talked about watermelon in that song, are we not supposed to eat watermelon anymore?
That's not the point of the watermelon, bro. You be getting too specific.
But what I'm saying is, you're talking about origin, right? You're talking about origin. It's made to make us look bad, so we should have nothing to do with it. Just like we shouldn't be dancing to that song. Well, watermelon was in the original song, B. So how can you not say, you know what I'm saying, you feel a certain kind of way about us still eating watermelon? Like that would be along the same point that you're trying to make. Like because they try to make us feel bad, about these things, we shouldn't repurpose it and we shouldn't indulge in it.
Do you understand this point, Dumbo?
That's crazy to me. What was the question?
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess yeah. I mean, I do. It's literal. He's talking literal. So I know he's talking
exactly. All right. So there we go.
Yeah, he's talking literal. You talking from a
philosophical standpoint.
Pie in the sky.
Yeah, from like an analogical standpoint, which is two different things. So that's why I think I butt head so much. But yeah, I mean, but listen, hey brothers.
Yeah. One more before you go. This wraps up this point that I'm going off this point. So
let's run it.
One more before you go.
Big reason why black people do not get mortgages from white banks is y'all bought the car first. When you come to me asking for a mortgage for a $250,000 house and you driving a $120,000 Benz, I'm denying you. Not because you can't afford it, but you just show me where your priorities lie. In other words, if you are going through a hard time, because you bought the car first, I know you're going to pay your car note first before you pay your mortgage. And that's why you didn't get the loan. You see that?
Yeah.
So listen, as long as black people care more about how we look than how our people live, we cannot win. Now let's go to the celebrities real quick. Big problem I got with black celebrities, especially the billionaire class, right? Guess who said this? Do you remember the coach of the owners of the LA Clippers? What was his name? Donald Sterling.
Donald Sterling.
He was forced to sell his team because they caught him with the racist remarks. That wasn't the real reason. The NBA really wanted him out, but that's what they used, right? You know what he said? As racist as he was, he said, "I don't understand these black millionaires. They don't do half of what we do for our people for theirs." He said, "There's no such thing as black." What did he call it? There's no such thing as black philanthropy. I'm paraphrasing him, but he broke it down. He said, "Look at what I do for other Jewish people. Look at what he do for other Irish. Look at what they do for Italian. Look at what they do for Chinese. Look at what they do for the Arabs. You don't see no black celebrity. None of them systematically doing for their own like any other celebrity does for their own." This is my problem with us, brother. But you know why that is, right? Black people are stuck in an eternal competition with one another for who's going to be the ultimate head Negro in charge. I can't help you build wealth, brother. I can't turn you into no millionaire, even if I'm a billionaire, because I'm helping you level up to me. I can't be the HNIC if you level up to me.
But what's better than 1 billionaire too? Isn't that?
If you care about the collective. Remember, black people don't identify with race. Slavery took away culture and gave us religion. You see that? So we don't care if black people are mistreated until we get mistreated. We don't have a collective eye. We only have an individual eye. Mexicans, it's a collective eye. Arabs, it's a collective eye. That's why they can build in mass wealth the way that they do, because they move as a group. Mexicans will come over here, 20 in a house, and will not move out that house until every one of them got a home and a business. You don't even want your sister living in your house. You don't even want your brother living in your house. You know who the ultimate anti-black segregationists are in America? Black people. Nobody wants to get away from black people more than black people. How are you going to build wealth if we can't even live in the same neighborhood?
You're going to hurt a lot of feelings.
It's the truth.
I know that was a lot to unpack. Well, I'll let you go first before you get out of here, man.
Man, first of all, I'm not a huge fan of Dr. Umar.
I'm not either. It's not the message. It's not
Hey,
the
look,
message.
you got a video of Dr. Umar every podcast. B, stop it.
So, all right.
This is one of my first of Dr. Umar, if I'm not mistaken.
I got
a lot of Anton Daniels. I got a lot of Angry Man. I got, certain, but I never really did it. Umar.
I think that, so I'm not gonna go into my personal.
Not the message. It's the message. What he was saying. Let's talk about what he was saying.
Right, the message. So, what was it last week or weeks ago? You said that we had a video that says that pretty much you got to fake it till you make it. You got to look the part to get to the part, right? So that and this was maybe Jewish, maybe I don't know what this dude culture was, but do y'all remember that or no?
Oh yeah. I think it was Indian.
Right, Indian guy.
Right. I know what you're talking about.
So they contradict each other, but I'll say this: if you can afford, first of all, nobody gonna deny you. B, it's all about DTI. This motherfucker talking some shit he don't know. If you bought the car outright and you don't have a note on it, then you don't have to worry about that. Even if you have the income to support that note, then you're still gonna get a loan. Like, so he's just talking. He's talking out his ass. Like I said, he's talking out his ass. And then when it comes to people not wanting to be in the same community or the same neighborhood, it's like this. If you have a child, do you want them to go to the best school or the worst school or mediocre school? The best school. Everybody wants the best for their offspring, right? So usually, what drives prices up? I mean, I guess I'm a realtor. The people that I deal with that have children that want them to go to a good school district are going to go where the good school district is, and that's not in Fifth Ward. It's not in Third Ward. It's going to be somewhere that's different. Now, just because they have this idea doesn't make them a coon. They just want the best for themselves. And so I guess last and foremost, you got to start somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere. So if of course we from where we from, I'm not sure where you from, Corey, but we from where we from. You have to want more. Does that mean that you don't want to live where you were raised up at, or is that due to the fact that you have the means to have better and to live better, and just so happen that there's not a lot of folks that look like us that have the opportunity? But you got to start somewhere. Like you said, the phasing out of the crab in the bucket mentality starts with these folks that have this same idea to where we want the same education for these folks, Dixon, that you say that's acting 25 when they're 13. We want to have that structure. No, that's not bad at all. I don't think that's so. That's my take on it. I want to hear everybody's take on this before I go.
Lord have mercy.
God damn, Dixon. So Dixon, can you go next, please?
Hey, look, now Dunbar, you feel what I feel, brother. You
No,
know what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
feel
Look,
nothing.
hey, look, you know what I'm saying? This cat gonna be contradictory every time. But go ahead, B.
That's
Go ahead
good.
with your point, B.
I'm my
Go ahead
mind.
with the point, B.
Listen, let me hear you.
Hey, hold on. Before B goes, you know what I'm saying? All I gotta say is Dunbar, you ain't wrong. Go ahead, B. Go ahead, B.
I'm not right or wrong. That's just my.
His opinion. His opinion can be wrong. I mean, it's an opinion show, but let's be actual factual. But I'm gonna say
So what Dunbar said ain't factual? What we talking about, B?
No. I said his opinion that it can't be wrong, but let's talk about actual facts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so first of all, let me say this, man. I think you said it all. I mean, you said it all. I mean, people run this back, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And this is going to be the problem, and that's why it's such an uphill battle. First of all, let's unpack what you said. As far as what he's talking about, You said it yourself. You keep saying for yourself, for yourself, for yourself. There's no problem. That's why there's no community. There's no sense of communal duty. That's why they have such a leg up, because it's a communal thing. I'm gonna help you get up. You gonna help me get up. It's a togetherness that they have. Oh, I want the best for myself. But what about the community? That's why you got to start somewhere. Then you say you got to start somewhere. Yeah, when somebody throwing down the gauntlet and say, enough of this. Let's do it together. Here's the solution. I'm gonna bring 10 more people up, and we're gonna all do it together. Something's gonna have to change. Because everybody individualist, how can it be? If I do this and slap you, it's not gonna be more as effective as this. You see what I'm saying? So let's start with that. If you so cold, like you say, like, you know, let's talk with the teachers in there. Why we got some of the coldest teachers? Why you can't come home and you can homeschool and do it in your community? Why you got somebody you so cold in business? Why you can't open the businesses here? You so cold in sports. Why you can't start your own leagues and coach your own junior teams and stuff like that? Organize your own neighborhood. Why you got to go outside? I want the best. Why you can't make yours the best? See that?
What?
You see? I'm talking to the audience.
I'm still a little lost up there because, you know what I'm saying, like, even if you do want the best, it's not as easy as saying, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to go out there and create another league. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hold on. Let me, before you finish. All right, look, the easy route is not the best route. Nothing that's worth having is. That's where the masculine frame comes in. Instead of wanting that gratification now, is that delayed gratification. There's going to have to be a group of men that come together, a group of individuals that come together and start to turn this car around. It's the only way it's going to do it. Because other than that, we got, hey, I want it now, and let me do what I damn well. We like Omar said, we in some competition. I experienced this just this month. People gatekeeping. Are you bragging to me? All right, well, shit, I got some bread. Let me go ahead there. But let me get back with you. I do that with my other brothers. Oh yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Come on. I experienced this. This ain't something I'm making up.
So, man, all right. So these group of men that you mentioned, are they
do they have their shit together? That's the biggest thing. Because cats hype stuff, you know what I'm saying? They ain't got it together to even give you an avenue to invest.
Well, not only that.
I'm talking about we do gatekeep a lot. We gatekeep a lot. A lot.
We gatekeep a lot, but we also open the gates too. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of opportunities.
Nothing is absolute. You keep saying that's not.
That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that's not your point. What my point is, what about the examples of people that don't gatekeep?
Nothing is 100%.
That's what I'm saying.
Nothing is 100%. If we talk, the world works in generalities. So if it's 51% or more, we're talking in general. We're having a general conversation. Yes, there's exceptions to every rule.
But right now, you're acting like everything that you're saying is 51%. That's all I'm saying.
In general, let's take a neutral party. In general, Dunbar, would you say that our community gatekeep more than other communities? Yes or no?
So I would say we do gatekeep, but I don't know how much the other folks in other, because I'm not raised in there, so who knows? I'm seeing more white people in Fifth Ward.
No, you know what I mean by gatekeep, right?
No, I know what gatekeeping is. Right. All right, so yeah, that's another. Yes, I mean yes, but I don't know how much it happens in other communities though. Yes, we do gatekeep.
Have you experienced that?
No, not personally.
Okay, good.
Not personally, but yeah, people gatekeep. But everything you can Google everything though, D.
What you mean?
You can Google everything. If you really wanted to know something, you know, you
But you can't really Google that because there's a lot of conversation that happen. But gatekeep and by its nature is behind closed doors.
right. I get you. I get you. I would say yes, but it's one of those things to where I never met any successful person that is not willing to help anybody else, whether they're in culture or they're not in the same culture. I've never met that.
It's
I've never
regardless. And my experience, I'll double down and say my experience is like Dunbar. You know what I'm saying? Like once you make it, like the biggest thing is to make it to inside that circle, whatever that culture may be. Once you make it inside that circle, inside that circle, then you know what I'm saying you're one of them. Like I you know, and again, B is not to say, you know what I'm saying, we're talking generalities, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's not to say, you know what I'm saying, people don't gatekeep, but all I'm saying is it's more so about circles, regardless of what the culture is. If you're inside that right circle, they're gonna look out for you, period.
And this one,
I don't care what the culture is.
from your standpoint, when we got done with that first deal, then you give me pretty much the blueprint on how to make $1 million?
Well, I'm an anomaly. I'm talking about, again, it's in general. So I'm a different type of animal.
I feel
You
it.
see what I'm saying? So you can't put me in that same category. I don't gatekeep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I never did.
Successful people don't have time to gatekeep. They want I mean, whether it's in any culture, they want you to try to reproduce what they did.
I don't think you know what gatekeep mean?
Gatekeep, yeah, that means keeps the insider secrets inside.
Not necessarily secrets.
Or
It's
like keep everything amongst your crew. You know what I'm saying? Like amongst a certain what you're trying to make is, you know what I'm saying, a point of keeping everything within a certain culture. That's the point that you're trying to make. What
that
I'm
might
trying
be
to
the problem. That might be the problem. Let me define it in my words what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Gatekeeping is the practical application of keeping somebody out, literally. So it's not. I tell you, I give you advice. A lot of people give you advice, but yeah, I give you this loose advice. Do that over there. But nah, if you want to practically do this over here by me, I don't want you to do that. That's too much competition. So I'm talking about literally. All right, if I have this anything, I give you an example. I got a business. All right, I'm talking about expansion. All right, yeah, what you need? No. That's gatekeeping. What you could do is I did this, and this. They'll do that all day. Information, boom, 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 boom. But nah, when it comes to literal, yeah, nah. Let me think about that. That's what I'm talking about.
I think the biggest thing is, which is good for going forward with anything, especially with us, you know, being ourselves in this setting, is we all have different experiences.
Correct.
So it's you know, Dixon, of course, you speaking, you're not speaking just out your ass, you're speaking from personal experience. Me, personal experiences. Corey, personal experiences. That's what's gonna make us great. That's what's entertaining. But I think that's what it is, because I've never been, you know, of course. So it comes with this too, Dixon. If you dealing with somebody who you know is a BS person, white, black, purple, or brown, or you're gonna spend your energy trying to really get them there.
Well, that's the difference. That's more mentorship. I'm talking about gatekeeping, to where it's literally like, hey, I'm about to get into the gate. Like, nah, let me go ahead and put my hand in your chest. You ain't getting in this gate.
Well, but if they're a BS person, do you want them in that gate?
If that's up to you. You want to get in the gate. I'm not a gatekeeper. If you got the money and that you're spending, and it ain't got nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying that you're gonna get a peace of mind. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
But this huh?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go ahead. I go after your point.
So there's a difference between piece of my plate and piece of the industry. Do you understand the difference?
Yeah, I understand the difference.
Of course.
So that's the difference. That's the difference. And I'm not talking about, all right, let's invest together. Now, you talking about
I think what Dunbar is trying to say, you know what I'm saying, is that if somebody came to be Dix, you know what I'm saying, they were just like, hey, look, how do I become $1 million loan officer, right? I just want to, you know what I'm saying, I just got into the business. I want to figure out how to become $1 million loan officer. But, you know what I'm saying, I only want to work 1 hour a day. Like, you know what I'm saying, are you going to spend that time mentoring them in order to become a $1 million producer? Or are you just going to say, well, you know what I'm saying, look, you just lazy, you don't want to work. I don't want to give you the information. That's what I take from Dunbar. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say that's what Dunbar is saying. All I'm trying to say is, you know what I'm saying, you're not going to spend that time. There's a difference between gatekeeping and not spending time on somebody that truly doesn't want it, but they say they want it. There's a difference.
So yeah, and that's what he said. He's not talking about mentorship. So would
I'm
you?
not talking about mentorship. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So with this person that Corey just mentioned about the 1 hour a day, wanting to be a millionaire, it's some type of effort from you to get them. If you in the gate, to get them in the gate, there's some type of effort from you. Is that true or false?
The only thing that you're standing in front of the gate. Let's say, for example, if you're the gatekeeper, you're standing in front of the gate. I'll give you a better example. The better example of gatekeeping would be, hey, I want to be $1 million loan officer. Get me on that Nexa. Nah, I ain't gonna get. Let me call you back. Why would I do that? Hell yeah, come on. Listen, you need to do that to get on the Nexa. XYZ. In fact, here go the link. Has nothing to, if you produce that one loan a year, I get my override off. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not gonna gatekeep that. The gatekeeping is like, nah, bro. Like, let me hit you back. That's gatekeeping.
Right. Yeah.
Gatekeeping, you know what I'm saying? Gatekeeping to me, you know what I'm saying, is intentionally keeping somebody out of something. So if somebody came to be Dix and say, you know what I'm saying, look, I want to be a loan officer, and you say, man, look, this sucks, man. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that you're doing well, this sucks, bro. I wouldn't want it. Has nothing to do with Nexa, you know what I'm saying? It's just the fact that, man, look, no, go ahead, you know what I'm saying, and do something else. Go be a realtor or whatever the case may be. Right. To me, that would be gatekeeping.
That's part of that. That would be under the umbrella as well. That's more verbal, But yeah, I get that. That would be part of gatekeeping. That would encompass that as well. But that's more gatekeeping, not mentorship. I'm not talking about mentorship. That's something different. That's something I need to get paid for and something like that. I would agree with that.
What I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? If we're talking about the generalities or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's talking about the actions, right? You know what I'm saying? So if you're talking about the actions of
right, so hold on,
somebody wanting to get in. Go ahead.
Let's take that point. Deliberately blocking you to get in. Now, do we or do we not do that a lot? Especially when it comes to a money grab.
In my experience, no.
You hadn't seen that?
No. Hold on a second. I'm not going to say, you know what I'm saying, I haven't seen it. But you know what I'm saying, I just hadn't experienced it, me, myself. Like anybody that I talk to, you know what I'm saying, they have been forthright with all information. Hey, look, I got you, whatever, government contract, whatever the case may be, right? But it's not to say that it doesn't exist. It just hasn't been my experience.
Right. Then nobody tell you to go do something else. I'll try to paint the picture like it wasn't all cracked up in the
no.
Okay.
No. In matter of fact, like in my circles, I was talking to my partner from Georgia. He was like, man, I'm not gonna say what we were talking about, but he was like, man, you know what? I've been doing this, man. If it pan out, man, I'm gonna make sure that shit, if you want to do it, you can do it. I think it's just the circles. Man. That's how I feel, because everybody that I know, they want me to do great. I want them to do great.
Correct.
And I never experienced that before. I've never had experience being gatekept. Now, in my own community, I haven't. Now, have I experienced it from different communities and different cultures? Of course.
Now, let me ask you this. Let's go ahead. I mean, I want to get off this because we took that one nugget and we made it. That's not the overarching what I want to talk about.
Okay.
All right. As far as, but yes, you do get it from a lot of. But did you have anybody in your community with the same level of success as other communities that you wanted to get in? So was it 100%. Apples to apples?
Success. 100%. I mean, success is relative. So I hate to be all of
Well, let's say for example, what did you get kept out of? from other communities? This name, just abstract. You know, you don't have to name it if it's sensitive, but give us an idea.
No, I mean, when I was in Iowa, certain jobs.
Right. All right. So like a job. So you never had anybody in the community say like you want to try to get this job. Like, nah, this is too much, bro. Y'all don't know you want. Everybody been all right. Yeah, here go the link.
I'm not bullshitting. No, I have not. But I have from different cultures. I have from different communities,
Gotcha.
and that's totally fine. I mean, yeah, but no, I have not. I mean, it was so I was in Iowa, in the small town. The biggest two jobs. Just I know I'm rambling. So Musco Lights. So Musco Lights. Every stadium that you can think of, from what that shit called, NASCAR to football. If it's in America, those lights that's you know allowing you to see those people.
Right.
I know we you know, but then my other teammate, not a black guy, he got put on. He's still there.
Right.
It was another. That's. I'll just leave it at that.
Right. I got you. But I mean, again, the overarching theme that I'm trying to, and I'll button it up with this, and I know you got to go. We kept you like an extra 20 minutes. I know.
Yeah. Appreciate you, dumb ball, for hanging out, bro. You know what I'm saying? Look, it's good conversation.
I stand on what I do, and then if I'm here, I'm here.
Right. So my thing is this. Overarching, I think, like I said, I think as far as awareness, I think the awareness of, and we proved it with the conversation, is just not there as far as you know, emotional maturity, as far as the communal aspect, as far as even the foundation. I think this, if the foundation not there, which is as far as something we can mentally agree, I don't think it's a bright future on changing it. You know what I'm saying? Just like the perspective is not there. You know, so I mean, I'm gonna try my damnedest, but you know, I'm gonna try to do what I do, but I just don't see it for us. I mean, I think it's gonna be an individualistic thing. Maybe we could get to got a couple groups, a couple of groups that kind of striving to do some things and kind of make some changes, but it's tough, man. It's gonna be tough. It's just, our perspective's not there. We don't think nothing wrong. I don't see nothing wrong.
Man, listen, I think in any culture, in any community, not everybody is meant to be successful. I mean, not everybody is meant to be a CEO.
It's not about success. Let me ask you this: when you look at the small hat boys, is everybody multi-millionaire? Nah, but how many small hat boys you see that's on the corner begging? Not too many.
What's so the small hat boy?
I don't know what
the small hat boy, guy that wear that little small hat. I can't say it because we're on YouTube.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, you know, and then it starts with a J.
What they call it, a harmonica?
I don't want to say it on YouTube. YouTube, you know, restricted words.
All right.
We'll talk offline. We'll talk.
Yeah, but you don't see too many of them homeless. You know, it's about raising that standard of living for the whole community. And we don't mind, we'll walk over somebody and not even bat an eye. In fact, we tear each other down more, you know, and it just don't affect us, you know, and then there's no game, there's no strategy, just button it up. There's no strategy to change that.
I don't think there's no strategy, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I think it's just the mindset of a person, you know what I'm saying? Like once you're given a gift, you're given a blessing, it's upon you, you know what I'm saying, to bless other people, you know what I'm saying, to actually be forthright. And I think there's a lot of people out there that does that, you know what I'm saying? But they just need to be highlighted just the same way as everybody else that's gatekeeping, you know what I'm saying? And I think things will change. I think the narrative right now, is negative. But eventually it'll turn to positive, you know what I'm saying, and we'll switch this thing around.
I don't think it's a narrative. I think it's the actions. But go ahead.
Nah, I was just gonna say, I got some orders to fulfill.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna hop off here, and I love y'all, brothers, and y'all be safe, and I'll see y'all.
Man, appreciate you, DB.
Oh yeah, appreciate you.
Have a good one. I mean, I'm come get one of them turkeys tomorrow. So
hey, I'm looking. Hey, let me know when you don't know after 3. After 3 is all good.
All right, for sure. I think I'm gonna be out to 5 though.
Hey, I'll be here.
All right, for sure. All right.
Hold on, DB. Oh well, shit. Never mind.
But
Hey, what is he doing? He frying turkeys or what are you doing?
Yeah, he got the turkeys. I would turkeys, the mac and cheese, the gravy.
He could have pubbed that before he rolled out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I'm sitting here like, what's going on?
Right. I'm going to pick me up one. Let me read TJ before we go to the next segment. Yeah, TJ said, "What are your thoughts on the 50-year mortgage being Corey?" I asked for my fellow Gen Z. It's another for us. We talked about this last week, TJ. I know you probably missed it. It's mixed reviews. I think I don't see the purpose of it. I mean, again, I'm not gonna knock another product. I mean, if it's a product that people want to use, I don't see where it will help you that much. But if you want to use it, I think it'll be something that's helpful for if it's there. So I'm kind of in the middle. I'm big on ownership, as you can see from the banner. So I'm big on home ownership. So I don't think it's great as far as equity building or as I don't think it's great as far as you trying to acquire stuff. I think it's good if you're trying to affordability. I'm in the middle with it. Again, it's if you have the means to do 15-year, that's best. Or do 20, 25, that's optimal. But if you have to do it, I think if you have to do 50, I think you might be either too much house or you're trying to bite off more than you can chew, So I think you might need to downsize a little bit more and get something that's affordable that you could chunk out. That's my best advice. Get something that's lower than your means, where you have a $400-500 cushion in case the taxes and insurance go up. Keep it on a 15 to 25 year. That way you're chunking it out and you're getting the equity built up. Then from there, if you have, a great year, some poker winnings, knock that thing out, move to your next one. Yeah, whatever you got, from there, so, but that's my strategy. Again, Corey might have a different strategy, but I'll yield the floor on that.
All right, so you know what I'm saying? Mine is kind of twofold on that. You know what I'm saying? So one, I honestly don't think a 50-year mortgage is going to come to fruition. Not during this presidential term. That's just honestly, you know what I'm saying? But if you want to talk about the nuts and bolts of it, when you talk about cars, right? You know what I'm saying? And cars is just kind of, I guess, if you will, a measuring barometer, right? So when you talk about cars, you know what I'm saying? Cars have become so expensive. It used to be max of 5 years where, you know what I'm saying, you're able to pay off a car. Now they've extended it to 7 and then 8 years. You know what I'm saying? They've extended the actual car payment because cars have become so expensive. In order to make it affordable for people, you know what I'm saying, you have to extend that payment period out, and which is what they've done. So I think the next thing is because the cost of homes are getting so high just due to the appreciation of COVID and all this other stuff. I think when you're talking about an affordability problem, a 50-year mortgage would actually help people be able to get into a decent home where they can actually have a decent payment, right? So I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of torn between the two because I want people to have an affordable home. But do I think 50 years is going to be good for them? No, I don't think 50 years is going to be good for them. But in order to make homes affordable, and you don't have to go into some kind of efficiency house or some kind of tiny home or whatever the case may be, if you want a four bedroom house where you have a backyard for your kids to play in, a decent backyard where you can put a pool and all this other stuff, I think a 50-year mortgage is not necessarily out of the range. But I don't think, you know what I'm saying, it's a great, from a financial standpoint, I don't think it's a great thing for you, because if you got to go 50-year, you really can't afford it. Like, you don't want to be house poor. And then the other thing is, you know what I'm saying, is that you don't want taxes and insurance to appreciate higher than the actual appreciation of the house. So I think it's causing a bigger problem down the line when you go to 50-year. But I'm all for any solution there is to make something affordable. And I think a 50-year could be a resolution, you know what I'm saying, to make a house affordable versus going to you know, a trailer house or a tiny home or whatever the case may be, where all your family is crammed into one spot. My opinion.
All right, let's get this next one going. I think I found it.
Not black college players. I don't care what nobody say. They're not gonna give you the same shot as a player from a PWI. My thing is this: they have turned black college into JUCO. They have literally turned it into JUCO.
It's a form league.
Yes, and this is what's fucked up about it. So once a player ball out, and unfortunately, we probably finna see it with our team. We got a lot of ballers on that team. They're gonna get offered after this year, and they probably gonna be gone. I don't even want to say their names because I don't want to get nobody in any trouble, right? Yeah. But when it comes to the PWI, they have an abundance of money, right? And these kids ball out in black colleges and want to transfer. Mm-hmm. So the white school win, the kid win. You know who is left holding the bag, who is screwed? Especially with the little NIL money that we raised to give kids, right? The black college. Guess what? I think it should be where all three parties win because, see, they're getting free labor off of HBCUs. HBCUs are recruiting their ass off, finding the guys that no one wants to give scholarships and everything, training them, working them out, teaching them, coaching them, getting them up to speed, teaching them the game, getting them prepared to be professionals, and then you come and steal them for free. That's free labor, bro. Yeah. Last time I checked in the cotton fields, that's what they was getting. Free labor. That's why I said it's like slavery again, because they actually knocked black college.
I know. I'll let you go first because since you're there, did he go too far?
I don't think he went too far. You know what I'm saying? I think he's entitled to his opinion. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, when you're getting paid, how could that be slavery? And I think, you know what I'm saying, it's when you talk about NIL deals, you know what I'm saying, everything NIL is based upon the actual market that you're in. So when you talk about, let's just talk about men versus women, right? We talk about how the NBA gets paid versus the WNBA. Well, it's not until recently, you know what I'm saying, when WNBA actually started to have the viewership to get the actual revenue to actually be able to pay these girls. But they're trying to get paid the same amount as the NBA. It's a progression when it comes to it. When the NBA first started, they weren't able to get as paid as much money as they're able to get paid now. And it's all due to TV viewership. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have the revenue in to actually justify it. When you talk about a lot of these schools have a lot more revenue on football than they do basketball or any other sports. So they're not able to give those scholarships away. So I understand, you know what I'm saying, where you want everything to be equal, but at the end of the day, it comes down to business. You got to have the revenue there to be able to pay somebody. If somebody's able to come to an HBCU and actually use that as a stepping stone to get to a higher division, then why don't you use that as a benefit? Essentially, it's what you're doing. You understand what you're dealing with. You're going to tweak your program to be able to highly benefit from that actual thing. So, you know what I'm saying? If it's you making a contract with whatever big university, hey, look, I'm going to bring him. This player can play. I'm going to bring them here. We're going to use this as a developmental league. He's going to come here, average 30. And then he's going to move on to your program. You're going to pay us once he moves on. Whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think instead of complaining about it and making it a problem, you make it a resolution and make it to where it benefits you because it's going to happen anyway. NIL is here to stay. Like, you know what I'm saying? They've actually made it legal. They're not going to retract it ever in life. So you can either complain about it and not make money from it, or you can kind of, you know, change around the way you do things and actually be able to benefit from it. And the last example I'll make is when you talk about AAU used to be a free sport where coaches was able to go in there for the benefit of their ego to say, I got such and such kid at such and such college. I put what's called it in D1 college. I put this cat in D1 college. So you want to come to this program so I can put this cat in D1 college. they've changed it now where, you know what I'm saying, actually they're able to get paid. They're getting paid for placing these kids in D1 college. They're not complaining about it, man. You taking all these kids from me, da 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 da. We're not benefiting from it, da 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 da. Whatever the case may be, they understood the system, and they changed their structure around to benefit from the system. And I think HBCUs should do the same.
Right. Again, this is not my lane, so I just go for like a general view. Yeah, I think he kind of out of bounds for that, because don't complain about the rules. Just adjust your game accordingly.
Correct.
And make the best out of it. Again, by saying I complain that it's slavery, I think that's emotionalism. You know, it's sensationalism. You know, you getting paid for what you do. You get a salary. You get your $100,000, $200,000 salary. That's what you do. You develop players to get them a better shot. Like, what more you want? So, you know, again, that's not my thing. You know, again, I wasn't an athlete, but again, that's not. I'm more in the business. But as far as the business of college athletics, I'm not intricately. You know, I don't know the intricate details of it, but I'm just commenting on. Anytime you throw these words around, it got to kind of make sense.
Yep.
And what he's saying don't really make sense. You know, so quit crying about it. You know, it's just the game. That's another thing, and I think I put that in there because it kind of goes to the earlier point. Instead of all right, we're gonna lose it. Why not try to do something to keep the communal sense and have that HBCU league and have them a pathway to the pros from there.
Correct.
Why not do that? Deion started it. Since Deion left and went to PWI, everybody kind of that whole movement lost steam. I think a different world. We used to have like the show called Different World with the chick from the Cosby Show. It was a spinoff, and then they brought out these HBCU gear, and all that came back when Deion was in the HBCU. All that went away. Everybody traded that in for Colorado gear. So it just takes one person to make a movement, and once he left, all that whole steam. So again, emotionalism. Why not? Who's gonna pick up the torch? I think Ed Reed was doing a little something. Why not? Why all these ex-football players don't come in and make that like a all-star league? We got all these ex-players coaching these HBCUs, and we could do something with that.
Correct. You can capitalize off of it. Off of any negative, you know what I'm saying, you can figure out a way to capitalize off of it, you know what I'm saying? And I guarantee, you know what I'm saying, you can figure out a legal way to capitalize off of it. But you know what I'm saying, here's the thing, you know what I'm saying, are you part of the problem or part of the solution? Like, I understand, you know what I'm saying, like, I think it's a major stretch to actually compare that when you're getting people paid a lot more money than what they were getting paid. Now, when you think about the lead running back for Alabama, one of the major programs in the actual country, you know what I'm saying, that actually had to get money under the table or maybe get no money at all, you know what I'm saying? But they are selling millions of dollars worth of jerseys. They're selling $1 million worth of tickets because everybody is packed in there. They're making it to the conference. Like it's the school is making millions of dollars. You can complain about that, or you can figure out a way to make money from it. And you know what I'm saying, I think sitting here talking about, you know what I'm saying, that it's a actual slavery, I think, man, you know what I'm saying, I think it's a major stretch. And I think that's the mindset of somebody actually wanting to complain more about the problem instead of figuring out the resolution, the way to benefit from the actual issue.
Right. And I could throw 3 or 4 different ideas out here right now that could change the game. Why all these ex-athletes that's looking for something to invest, why they don't get together and make like a Black National Championship Bowl or something like that, the Black Bowl or something like that. The way Deion did it, he did it with swag. Everybody was following the swag. So why all these rappers and all that can't get together? They have time and with the band, they performing with the bands and just make it lit. Why not use one of our strengths, which is making things cool, making things mainstream, and use that to highlight the Black college experience? Deion, shine the flashlight on it, what it could be. Why did Why the creativity ain't there when it comes to that? And that could fund all of advertisers gonna pay for a lot of them, the stuff they missing books and all this stuff here, whatever,
100%.
Yeah, so we just don't monetize on things. I give you another thing. I give you one other thing.
Yep.
Look at all these experimental leagues, the XFL, the UFL, where they were doing stuff with the drones and changing the kickoff, and the NFL start changing the kickoff and stuff. Why not do some experimental stuff with this league? Anything. Have the halftime be part of, whoever win the battle of the bands in the halftime, they give that team 7 points or something. Anything, what I'm saying? Anything that's creative, to add to the flavor of the game, it can't hurt.
It's just putting the mind together, you know what I'm saying? Because marketing is everything.
Marketing.
If you have the, you know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing. Even when I was in school, you know what I'm saying, and we played, anybody, you know what I'm saying, that played, there was always a top athlete. There was always a top guy that just didn't take school seriously. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't have the grades to go D1, but they still wanted to play. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you bring that cat into an HBCU, why not highlight that? You know what I'm saying? Now you're getting ticket sales. You got the band at halftime. Now you're packing out stadiums, and now the revenue is coming in. You're selling jerseys, whatever the case may be. The revenue is coming in. Why not take advantage of that? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not just about complaining and saying, okay, look, this is like slavery, because it's not. It's just somebody has to get into a room, stop complaining, and figure out how to revenue, you know what I'm saying, make revenue from the situation. That's it.
Got all kind of ways. We're just not doing it. It goes to you see the pattern in these videos. Let me go ahead and I think this one is a little bit different though. I got about 4 or 5 more, but let's go ahead and run it because it is getting late.
Yeah,
Let me go ahead and run it.
This is like an expensive prison. I was just looking at the bill. My kids can't go outside. There's no playground. We gotta keep the curtains closed because people walk through the hotels. They can look into your room, so there's no privacy.
In 8 months, they spent $17,000 on the extended stay room, nearly twice as much as they'd paid on their old apartment.
It's really important that we not talk about all of these families and individuals as if they're falling into homelessness. They are being pushed. This is an engineered neglect. And at every turn, there are entire business models that are set up to capitalize on their predicament.
I remember just realizing this is like an expensive prison. I was just looking at the bill. My kids can't go outside. There's no playground.
Yeah, for some reason, I thought that clip was longer than that. I thought that clip was longer than that.
Yeah.
So, but nah, I was quick comment because I thought he was going to get into. Must be a longer version of that. Yeah, I mean, it's all about choices as far as that concerned. Like I said, you thought that living out of a hotel was going to be easier because it's easy to get into, but it actually is more expensive. A lot of things that's a lot easier is more expensive in the long run. It's easy to rent some. Well, not even nowadays. It's kind of damn near the same process to rent, but the stigma is it's easier to rent, but it costs you more. It's easy to get a hotel than to rent, but it still costs you more. So anything that's easy entry point is longer and it's going to hit you in the wallet in the long run. So with that being said, there's other things he could have done. I don't know the whole situation. I thought they were going to go more into that. The only other thing I can say about the flip side, I disagree. I think that's one of the biggest enemies to our community is the white liberal. And I know the blue boys will disagree with it, but they label stuff and they sensationalize stuff. Affordability is a problem. Everybody would say that, but as far as being homeless,
No, I was going to say for sure.
Being homeless, I think with all of the programs that's available, if you able to do something. And again, it's about what you're willing to put aside as far as pride. There's a lot of low, even income rental places. Now they might not be the most desirable. However, if you could afford $17,000 in 8 months, you can afford an apartment. You can afford something. You was getting money from somewhere. So this is about the choices that he made.
That's a lot of money. God damn, it's a lot of money.
So again, I'll look up that. I thought this was longer than that, but I'll let you comment on that when till I go to the next one.
Yeah. I really don't have anything to say about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of flabbergasted. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, I think it becomes the financial literacy. I don't think people understand the financial decisions that they make. I don't think he understood the financial decisions that he made. You know what I'm saying? At the bare minimum, you know what I'm saying, you can actually get an apartment. And an apartment would be, you know what I'm saying, bare minimum 6 months. And an apartment at 6 months, you know what I'm saying, he could have paid a lot less than $17,000, you know what I'm saying, for a decent apartment for him and his kids. But they stayed at the extended stay. I've seen the situations where, you know what I'm saying, people have actually paid a shit ton of money on storage units, right? That's the major thing. When you're in between homes, you're in between stability. You get these storage units, you know what I'm saying, where you're paying in order to keep these things that you have. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, you end up keeping these for 2 or 3 years. You could have gotten everything that you have in there for brand new compared to what you're paying for the actual storage unit. But a lot of people don't necessarily think about that. So again, you know what I'm saying, I think it just boils down to financial literacy. People make stupid decisions just because they justify, oh, well, you know what I'm saying, this is what I need to do, whatever the case may be. They don't think about long term. They don't think about the financial catastrophe that it actually provides for them. Like, why would I actually store this stuff? You know what I'm saying? I could buy everything new. I might as well just give it away. Sell it or give it away. You know what I'm saying? And then in 2 or 3 years, when I become stable, then I can actually go out and buy everything new. But people don't necessarily understand that. That's when you end up paying for $800 of a storage unit for 2 or 3 years, which is ridiculous to me. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, the bottom line is financial literacy. People just don't understand the way money works.
Yeah, $17,000. If you do the math, that's $2,000 plus a month. You know, you could buy a house. I don't know where he lives, so, but you know, a lot of times you can buy a house in most cities. Let's go ahead and run this next one. You know, so again, we think it's going to be cheaper, but it will end up more expensive.
100%.
House in Fells Point, beer was on their lips, but wages were on their minds.
I mean, people are going to lose their jobs over this.
At issue is a hike in the minimum wage. Proponents are proposing raising the current $15 an hour minimum wage to $25 an hour. Workers who currently earn tips would be eligible for the higher minimum wage too. Proponents insist the current $15 minimum wage is hardly a livable wage.
The cost of living is high, and people are struggling to pay, you know, for their homes, for food, for childcare.
It's not sustainable. Small businesses cannot do this.
Owner Gail Furman believes the proposed hike in minimum wage could prove to be catastrophic for many small businesses.
If I have to pay an employee $25 an hour, it means I have to dramatically increase my pricing. When I do that, it's not sustainable. To buy a beer at Max's, you're going to have to pay $15 to $20 to buy a beer. Never in my lifetime would I think that would be the case.
It sounds great in theory. It's great politically for politicians, but it will hurt small businesses. It will hurt Main Street, and ultimately it will hurt workers.
Supporters have now launched a statewide petition drive, hoping to get the proposal on next year's ballot. But opponents point to other states which have seen dramatic hikes in their minimum wages, and there were dire consequences.
Look at California. They raised their minimum wage to $20 an hour just for fast food restaurants. And it is documented that it led to an increase in job losses and more automation.
The people that they quote unquote say they're helping, they're hurting. because every time the minimum wage gets increased, all the prices around it have to go up in order to cover the additional increase. So people who are at a minimum wage are struggling, again, even though they're making more money.
At Max's Tap House in Fells Point.
Yeah,
that's facts.
I mean, I want to hear, you know, I thought y'all Blue Boys was definitely all about that, raising that minimum wage, and you know.
But see, I'm saying raising minimum wage, I'm saying, and making more money, I'm saying, only does you good if you're able to be employed to make that minimum wage. Right? So you know what I'm saying? If it's $25 an hour, if it jumps up to $25 an hour, you know what I'm saying? Like now, a lot of small businesses actually run month to month. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, you know what I'm saying, a lot of owners are living paycheck to paycheck. Let's just be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have that cushion there, you know what I'm saying, to actually be able to pay for it and wait until the increase in food actually comes in, that revenue comes in. So chances are, you know what I'm saying, if that comes legal and that becomes, you know, the way it is, the first thing you're going to do is, you know what I'm saying, look, I need to reduce my labor force, for one, to take care of it. And then two, the people that I do keep are now taking on double the amount of work. So is that truly helping them out? I don't think it's helping them out. But I think, you know what I'm saying, for a political ploy, you know what I'm saying, it's the greatest thing to say, okay, well, look, we're going to increase in minimum wage so you guys can get paid more. Okay, great. You guys get paid more. You're now at home on unemployment. So I think for me, you know what I'm saying, like anybody, blue, red, whatever the case may be, there has to be a happy medium. There has to be a medium where, you know what I'm saying, the small business owners are able to give up a little, but then, you know what I'm saying, the actual workers are able to make a little bit more. You can't jump from $15 an hour to $25 an hour and expect for anybody not to lay anybody off. Like that's just the craziest thing ever. And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying, now you're looking for actual customers now to pay for a $15 catfish plate. Now they're paying $25. Guess what they're going to do? Nah, I ain't doing that. I'm going to the next restaurant down the street that's actually charging cheaper. You know what I'm saying? This is just too expensive. I'm not going to do that. So revenue goes down. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I 100% get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, blue, red, whatever, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Economics is economics at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? It has to be a win-win for both sides.
Again, I don't want to go too much into a lesson on this, you know, but I think it's from emotionalism, selfishness, and, you know, laziness. And laziness. Yeah, it's laziness. Let me explain why. These certain jobs are not meant for you to be able to afford everything. Certain jobs are entry level and they're a lower level, they're unskilled labor. You know, and they're for a certain category of individuals. They're for starter jobs, they're for people's second jobs. They're not skilled. You want to get paid like a skill. Oh, because stuff is going up. You know, I should get paid more, but anybody could wipe down a table. Anybody could pour a beer. So I get it. Just because stuff goes up doesn't mean you deserve to get paid more. Is your task going up as your wage go up? No. So my thing is, it's supposed to be these fast food jobs. Supposed to be for kids. It's supposed to be for young people just getting into the workforce. It's supposed to be to help you through school. You know, part time. It's supposed to be for that. It's not supposed to be for you 40 years old trying to pay bills and working at Papa John's. By then, theoretically, you should be in the C-level management at that point. What happened is you made some bad decisions. And now you want to complain about what you think you deserve. The problem about that is that you feel you deserve, but you didn't put in the work to get to that level. You want to complain about, and for us to again lower the level from A to C because you can't make the A.
Mm-hmm.
Which you made some bad decisions. You're up there in age and you're working this particular job. It's not meant for you to be able to raise a family of 5 on. That's what skilled labor is for. You should have got into something that's skilled. If you want to make that type of wage, there's other jobs out there. But the problem is you take these jobs, you're entry level, and I do a lot. I'm a barista. I feel like I can get a kid to do this. In fact, look around. That's a kid next to you. She can do the same job. Look around. So why do you deserve more? Why should everybody else pay for? Because you feel that you should get more. Because things have gone up. No, you should do more. I'll rest my case on that. So
there it is. There it is.
So let's go and run this next one.
From the election, a realtor came and she told us that she's on both sides. She's the listing agent and they're the buyer's agent. And when the client called us, she basically said that she didn't want to go with their inspector. She wanted somebody else. She wanted to find her own. I would say that's a good idea. Now, just to tell you a little bit what we're dealing with here, she said the seller disclosure said that there was a leak in the garage. That's the only thing. She said the house is in pretty good shape. That's all we know about. That was on the seller disclosure. So I asked her, did they tell you where it came from? You know what she did? This is what she did. No, I didn't. I didn't ask. I bet you didn't. Let me show you what we're looking at. So as soon as I came to open up the house, this is what I saw. This is what I saw. As my wife said, biggest day. So we take a step back and that crack continues. Let me tell y'all something. I don't care about the realtor, the listing agent. I don't care about the buyer's agent. All I care about is the buyer. So while I was still doing this inspection, they came back. Talking about we have a team and there was 3 of them. They came back to the house and we still inspected. And they said, we figured you'd be close to being done by now. I basically told them there's no need to come back. Everything will be in report. But you know what? Since you're here, let me go show you something. So I showed them that crack and said, if y'all want to do something, you start working on this right now to get this checked out. And the realtor asked me, she said, is there a crack inside the house around there? I told her, I ain't done it inside yet. I've been outside and doing this attic. I ain't done it inside yet. But that is enough. That's enough to get it looked at. I'm telling y'all. Dang right. So while we performing this,
I'll go ahead and real quick on this because I got about 3 more before we wrap it up.
Yeah.
Y'all got to watch who y'all work with because, again, I got to blame it on laziness. And let me tell you why. I think in 2020, it's not just, I can't just blame it on now. It's just some people. Some people don't give a damn. They want to make it as easy as possible on them. This is the house you like. Let me go ahead and stick you in there. Now, don't ignore your eyes. Let's try to gloss over this stuff because it's gonna make it harder on them. And they try to stick you in there, so they can get that commission as soon as possible. So you got to kind of watch who you're working with and make sure they have your best interest at heart. and don't mind doing extra. And let me go ahead and preface that as well. When you get that, you can't mind paying either. A lot of people want a lot of this type, this white glove service, and then don't want to pay. And because you want this cheap service, this is what you're gonna get. You get cheap service. You see what I'm saying? So it gotta be, you gotta pay for what you want to receive. Other than that, like I said, it's both. So you gotta watch you gotta watch who you're dealing with. And also, you gotta watch how you treat people. Watch how you know, how much? All right, yeah, they got some people that do it for $2. You see, it's gonna cost you more than that 1% that you're giving up. But I'll go ahead and yield the floor on that.
Look, here's the thing, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, an agent's job is supposed to be, fiduciary duty is supposed to be to their clients. But you have to understand, you know what I'm saying, above and beyond everything else, you know what I'm saying, their fiduciary duty is to their family. So, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, when you have an agent that's not doing a lot of business and they need that paycheck in order to survive or in order to pay bills or whatever the case may be, guess what their loyalty is? Not to you. Their loyalty is to themselves. And they're going to do unscrupulous things and unethical things, you know what I'm saying, in order to kind of benefit themselves, not necessarily you, but this is the person that you hired to actually represent you. So when you go into these deals, you know what I'm saying, what I would say is, you know what I'm saying, you have to make sure that your eyes is wide open, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, every agent ain't for you. Every agent ain't going to fight for you. Every agent ain't going to do everything, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that you're whole. At the end of the day, they're trying to get to closing to get that paycheck so that they can get the bills paid. And when you have a agent that's, you know what I'm saying, desperate like that, you know what I'm saying, it puts you in a compromising position. Now, if something happens later on down the line, guess what that agent going to say? Oh, man, I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying, you need to get a lawyer. You're on your own. It ain't nothing I can do for you. But they got their paycheck, they got their bills paid, they went on down the line. So when you're in here and, you know what I'm saying, you're doing these transactions or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, and you're relying on and you're thinking that, you know what I'm saying, this agent is doing everything in your best interest, I'd recommend, you know what I'm saying, you think twice. You think twice and make sure you open your eyes to look in, you know what I'm saying, make sure, everything is in line. I wouldn't wholeheartedly put 100% trust in that agent.
I'm gonna say this, and then are you done? My bad.
Yeah. Go ahead. You got it.
I'm gonna say this while I just on my mind, and then we'll go to the next clip. We got to stop hiring an agent so nonchalantly. We think we play with that.
Yeah, correct.
We don't take that serious at all. Oh, my homegirl. What if your homegirl don't know what she's doing?
Ain't got a clue.
Ain't
got a clue.
I get it, y'all went to school together. Y'all was in the second period.
Correct.
We got to stop playing with that.
But I mean, here's the thing, you know what I'm saying, is that when you want to do something, and I commend it, right? You know what I'm saying? Because as we talk about gatekeeping, you know what I'm saying, you want to do something for your peoples because you want your peoples to make money. I'm going to buy a house, you know what I'm saying? I want my peoples to make money, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, you have to sit here and take into consideration that person may not know everything, and that person may be missing a whole bunch of stuff. So you can either pay now or you can pay later. It's the whole thing, you know what I'm saying, we talked about in a couple of podcasts ago where, you know what I'm saying, you can either pay through education or you can pay through the school of hard knocks. You have to have your eyes wide open because, you know what I'm saying, everybody doesn't have the same integrity that you would expect for them to have.
I would say vet them properly, because a lot of people, again, they're just looking at that paycheck. They want to get you off the books as soon as possible.
Oh, 100%.
So it's not about what's the greater good for you. And a lot of times I lose clients like that. I'll tell them the real, and they don't want to hear it. They want to hear the quick cure. It get frustrating sometimes. I tell them, nah, this is exactly what you need to do. They want this, get rich quick. The magic jumping bean, the magic pill, the magic diet pill. And nah, it's diet and exercise.
Correct. and then they come back to you after the fact, be like, man, you was right. Help me get out of this situation. It's just like, well, how the hell am I? Look, I try to prevent you from this situation. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Now you want me to play miracle worker, you know what I'm saying, to get you out of this situation? Like, stop it.
Right. So, but I'm gonna keep telling the truth. Like, a lot of people want to hear this whoop-de-whoop, and a lot of people are telling that whoop-de-whoop.
Yep.
Get the money.
Get to that commission check. Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna end it off in like three positives to get up out of here. I got 3 positive ones. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Let's go end it off.
Jewish journey of Rabbi Amari Stoudemire. We all know him as the NBA star who baptized defenders in the paint, but these days he's posting up at his local synagogue. Growing up, Amari's mom told him his family had Hebrew Israelite roots, but he didn't think much of it at the time. He was too busy dunking on people. But after retiring from the NBA, that sparked into a full-on spiritual journey. He moved to Israel, learned Hebrew, started keeping Shabbat, and studied at yeshiva. Oh, and while he was at it, he joined Hapoel Jerusalem's basketball team, won the Israeli Cup, became an all-star, and led Maccabi Tel Aviv to a championship-winning finals MVP. Not to mention he was praying and learning Torah on every game day morning. How's that for a pregame ritual? Then Amari went all in, officially converting to Orthodox Judaism and taking the Hebrew name Yehoshaphat ben Avraham. Now he's an Israeli citizen, owns part of the team he played for, and even launched his own kosher wine label, Stoudemire Cellars. After this wild Jewish journey, having his own startup might be the most Israeli thing about him. This is the wild Jewish journey of Rabbi Amari.
Man.
So, I don't know if you know that about Stoudemire.
No clue. No clue.
All right. So again, I got 3 positive ones. So go ahead, comment. Go ahead. I'll let you go in on the first.
Hey, look, it's nothing else to say about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did his thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate the fact, you know what I'm saying, of people finding out their purpose after the NBA. Because I think, you know what I'm saying, especially being an athlete, you know what I'm saying, so many people can't find their purpose after they finish playing, or, you know what I'm saying, after they finish their career in the NBA, you know what I'm saying, they figure they're done. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, what am I going to do next? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people fall into depression because they don't know what they're going to do next because they've done basketball for so long. So I commend Amari Stoudemire for figuring out his purpose, his way, you know what I'm saying, and actually being able to strive. Ain't nothing else to say.
2 things I like that he did on here that I think we not aware of, and that I think we get narrow-minded on. Number one, he opened up his mind to a global presence. Like, there's stuff going on outside the U.S. Everything ain't just these, this city, these blocks where I grew up at.
Mm-hmm.
So he took those roots. He said his mom told him it was a Hebrew. He went to research his roots, and he went to the source, and boom, he found a whole nother calling in life.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't know when you might get inspired at to do something different, to do something great. So, but if somebody put something on Facebook that kind of changed my perspective, I might start opening myself up a little bit more. I always been I've been talking about the internet, but it's kind of bringing it more to fruition. But they said, they put this on Facebook, like, yeah, you don't want to not spending money on vacation, because what happens is you got a lot of money, but you ain't, you got a lot of money, and how you put it, you got a lot of money, but you get old and then never been nowhere. Or something to that effect. So I think is getting around as far as getting around other communities and stuff like that. And then I want to say this: I like that he just didn't limit himself to expanding into different culture, and he showed that the culture opened up their arms to him, and he a citizen and all that stuff. So this is who say you got to just be confined to the U.S. You know, who said you got to just be confined to what you grew up as far as religion and doctrine and stuff like that. They, you know, if it works for you, it works for you. You know, so I'm glad he found his niche. I'm glad he's doing his thing. I'm glad he opened up his mind instead of being closed off. I think we closed off to a lot of stuff, and we don't give other things because we keeping it real. Come on, bro. Again, the saying I brought up the vacation. You just look around, you get old, and you ain't never been nowhere, and that includes mentally.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't try, how would you know? I'm not saying that there's limits. Certain things I'm not gonna try, but you know, different coaches and stuff like that. How do you know? You ain't been there.
Yep.
You know. So, with that being said, let's go ahead. Got two more.
Yes, sir.
Reggie Bullock was drafted in 2013 to the Clippers, and he retired about a year or two ago. Oh my gosh, look at that court. He's got this whole island to himself, and you know, he let some visitors come into a bar that he recently opened too. But man, imagine retiring and being able to stay there. Beautiful view, fresh air every day, no distractions, no people.
Kind of like went with my gut feeling. I did a little bit of research. I had a teammate formerly of mine, like I told you.
Shout out Dennis Smith Jr.
He told me about, private outlet sales. So I kind of went upon myself to dig in and learn more about private outlets. And I found this crazy. It was shaped like a heart, like one of my twins' names. So I just felt like it was the perfect place. I came here initially to build my vacation home. So I was about to say within that same process. I felt another love for something. I'm an athlete, and I felt another love for being able to give hospitality back to people.
Y'all ain't know Reggie.
That was a great video.
Right.
That was a great video. But here's the thing, you know what I'm saying, is that, whatever your success is, you know what I'm saying, there's always a greater purpose. And I think for him, you know what I'm saying, he's building this island where he's going to eventually, you know what I'm saying, he's building it up to eventually rent it out and make a shit ton of money for his family. And then when we talked about, you know what I'm saying, legacy, leaving a legacy, you know what I'm saying, I think that's something that he can actually leave to his family, where they'll be able to make money forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's building this thing up. He's building all kinds of stuff, man. Platforms where people can perform, all kinds of things, you know what I'm saying? Because that was one video, but you know what I'm saying, there's an actual video where they go detailed into everything that he's done and how he progressed from the time that he got there and everything that he's actually built. And I think, you know what I'm saying, when people want to get off the grid and they want a vacation spot, like, those are the places that they're going to look to. Because, you know what I'm saying, there's not too many people that's going to actually say that they've been able to actually go there and stay there. So I commend these cats, you know what I'm saying, for not just kind of making the money and just staying stagnant. You know what I'm saying? Figuring out other ways to make money and make my money work for me. And you know what I'm saying? It's actually a beautiful island. It's a beautiful island, beautiful staycation or vacation or whatever the case may be. And it's going to continue to make money for his family for years years down the line.
Right. And like I said, it's thinking outside the box, you know. That's one thing I like about it, you know, is thinking outside the box. I mean, like I said, and then researching the opportunity. That's the anti-gatekeeper, how his partner put him on and stuff like that.
Correct.
Anti-gatekeeper, you know. So don't be scared that your partner gonna do it. You know,
and here's the thing, you know what I'm saying? He probably had a bunch of people that told him not to do it. Oh right. Man, this, that, and the third, whatever case may be. But to have the strong mentality to actually still be able to go there and do it. And then now, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a beautiful island. It's a beautiful island.
Right. Let's go ahead and run the last one. Last one, we gotta end it with the man of the week, man.
Yes, sir.
He got inspired, you know, so shit, you know, I gotta end it with the boy should do it, man.
Come on.
You gotta go out there and perform. Like, there's no choices, no question. Nobody cares if this was 1 week of prep. Who cares? You know? So a lot of people want to see me fail, and it ain't gonna happen. You know, it ain't gonna happen. But there's no excuse. You gotta go out there and perform. Like, there's no choice, there's no question. Nobody cares if this was 1 week of prep. Who cares? You know, so a lot of people want to see me fail, and it ain't gonna happen. You know, it ain't gonna happen.
Gotta have that confidence, man.
Mic drop.
Without that, I ain't nothing to add to that, man. We're gonna see y'all next week, man. Go out there and perform. Make it happen. With that, we're gonna say peace, man. See y'all next week. Have a good holidays, man. You know, don't drink and drive.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Right. Peace.